Hi and welcome to our series of conversations with experts in fields related to real estate. I'm joined today by a titan of the finance industry, a guy that I've done a lot of business with, and I wanted to share his expertise with you today. This is my good friend Rene Sanchez.
Thank you, man.
How are you?
Appreciate being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time out. I know you're a busy guy right now.
My pleasure.
2021's been an interesting year.
Never too busy for my friends.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. So I just want to kind of run through, some questions with you, if that's okay. But first of all, what I'd like to do is for you to share how you got to this point in your career. What's your history?
Well, I started, like I said, when I had hair, way back in the 80s, in the banking industry, and I worked for First National Bank of Kissimmee. Started in collections, got promoted, went to assistant vice president of SunTrust, spent about 18 years in the car business, director of finance for Mr. Massey Cadillac, and then ended back in the lending industry. My current boss actually recruited me and worked for PHH Mortgage for about 15 years as regional manager to the Southeast.
Oh, wow, okay.
And when they sold the guaranteed rate, I had some moving. I was senior VP for Centennial Lending out of Philadelphia, and kind of settled into the lending business again. And then Kat recruited me right into this position.
And that's with Laon Depot, right?
Yeah, Laon Depot, and I've been here for Laon Depot almost 2 years now.
So, tell me, I'm fascinated by Laon Depot. It's a big company, right? Tell me a little bit about Laon Depot.
Well, the short of it is, it was founded in 2010 by industry innovator Anthony Shea. And then Anthony started a company. He wanted to make it easy, convenient, and very customer centric, and very open to the client, transparent. And so in a short 11 years, with that mentality, that driven, hired the right senior leadership, and we've become now in the top 5 lenders in the country.
Goodness me.
We've delivered $275 billion in closed loans.
God.
Service over 27,000 a month in
27,000 a month?
Yeah, clients. And so in 11 years, we've really gotten there. We're the number 2 lender in the purchase money business, which is what you do at Compass.
Right.
As, those sales.
Yeah.
So,
it's a similar experience with Compass. Compass has actually grown extremely quickly and developed on a basis of doing things right for people, and I guess that's what you're saying.
That's it. I mean, you do it right, and you treat people right, then you're going to grow just because you're doing it right.
Right, just because you're doing it right, yeah. And what does that size bring to the consumer? What do you think that Laon Depot's, because obviously meteoric size doesn't necessarily mean, we've been seeing examples throughout all sorts of industries where companies have grown rapidly and massively, but they lose the focus on the client. What happens with Laon Depot? Tell me about what that size brings for the client, for the consumer.
Well, the size brings obviously products and good rates. Sometimes lenders that aren't as big don't have the flexibility with FHA or VA, or even in the conventional world for credit scores. Most of them are in the 640s. We can go down to 620s in the conventional world. We can go down to 580 in the government world. So size brings products and strength.
Right.
And when you talk about strength, some overlays in our industry where lenders will have an overlay. Well, you need 3 months bank statements instead of 2, or sort of those things. The size that we are, have a lot of flexibility and are very well welcomed by the investors in the industry.
I know you're on in-house underwriting as well?
Absolutely. We have our in-house underwriters. We do everything 100% underwriting in the house.
And can you help consumers in all sorts of situations? Obviously you're dealing with FHA, you're dealing with jumbo loans. Are you dealing with investors as well?
Yeah, all is a very scary word, so I'll just preface that.
Just give a caveat.
I'll just preface that right now. But no, yes, we have every product that we can imagine that we can deliver to the customers. We even have, which a lot of lenders don't have, is the rental product, renovation. That is very big right now.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's basically a different way of a construction loan. So basically you have a home that needs a new roof, needs AC, needs a pool repair. Well, we can actually do the loan and set that money aside for the renovation piece and work it like a construction loan. It's a draw process that, you get to a certain stage of the renovation, then you get the contractor takes that draw, and so basically it's just a construction loan on an already built house.
So does it convert into a conventional loan at the end of the process?
It's a conventional loan from day one.
From day one, right.
Day one.
So it's not like a construction perm loan?
No, it's like a $200,000 loan, but you need $50,000 of rental, so it's a $250,000 loan.
Sure.
That $50,000 is held in escrow.
Right.
as the renovation gets done by a licensed contractor, obviously.
Right.
It can't be your next
So
door
there's
neighbor.
kind of an oversight to the process, right? So what about first-time buyers? Are you working with first-time buyers as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we are tied with every down payment assistance program that there is, whether it be county, state, either one. So we work with first-time home buyers, and again, everybody says, "Oh, we have a first-time home buyer for the, nursing program or doctor's programs and all these kind of things." And, basically, it's the same thing. It's just a matter of where is the money coming from? How do you get the assistance if needed? I typically try to work around them if we can, but yes, we have it.
And what about, because obviously one sector that we're really interested in, particularly because of the value of homes having gone up so much, is the jumbo loans. I take it you're in jumbo loans as well.
Absolutely, and we're very proud of what we call the Jumbo Advantage. So it's an in-house product. It's mine. I don't broker it to anybody. And by the way, we retain just about 98 to 99% of our business. So we don't sell them off. And so the Jumbo product is very special to us because not too many people have it in-house. Most of them will go out and broker out the Chase or BB&T or Wells or one of those big dogs. So we have it in-house, and we can do up to 89.9% or 10% down with no MI on a jumbo product. I just closed one a week ago. It was $1.10 million on a $1.2 million property. He was put 15% down and no MI, and the rates are still in the mid threes, 3.6, I think it was.
That's the incredible thing.
And that's the piece right there, that when it's our product, there's no other man or another piece involved there that's going to
because you've kept it all in-house, because you can, because of the size of the company.
And the underwriting's in-house.
And what about, so we've got a lot of people, particularly obviously this Kissimmee theme park area, looking for second home investments, looking to purchase vacation homes. Is that something you can help us with as well?
Absolutely. It's a big market in Florida right now. There's a lot of people from all over the country, specifically California, New York, West Virginia. I see a lot of folks buying second homes, eventually making the transition here, or making it an investment property for the time being until they're able to relocate.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that at the moment. We're getting a lot of people saying to us, listen, I don't want to move into it right now. I want to operate it as a second home and a vacation home with rentals, which I know was always kind of a touchy subject with the lending industry. But now we're seeing a lot of people just wanting to do that Airbnb, the property, and then retire to it when they're ready to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And what are you seeing in terms of actually, and this is, I know this is a tricky story for a guy that's or a tricky question for a guy that's in the...
I won't commit to nothing.
What do you see in terms of like down payments for a well-qualified person for a second home right now?
Well, I mean, second homes, we have programs that are over 80% LTV. So the down payments are very flexible. However, when it comes into the investment piece and even the second home, I see a lot of those folks going into a 25% down payment only because the rate becomes so much more advantageous. So, when the meltdown was back in 07, 08, 09, a lot of the casualties were in that second home investment property.
Yeah, they were,
because you're going to keep your home first. And so the lenders today are very more cautious about what they do. So we'll do an 80% loan to value or maybe 85 on a second home, but we're going to make sure that we adjust for that risk.
Of course, absolutely. Because I know there was a particular, we saw condo hotels, for instance, which were, I mean, it's virtually impossible to get
tough. Those are tough.
Yeah.
So
but with the number of cash buyers that we're seeing these days, I mean, that kind of market takes care of itself. What we're predominantly concerned with are people that are looking to buy a second home, vacation home, and they just want a really good, solid product from a solid company. And I guess that's what you're saying to me that you can support.
That's what we deliver. I mean, we're a solid company, solid product, solid team. Leadership has been there in place for many, many, many years, and I'm just glad to be part of it at this point.
Well, that's awesome. So listen, let me just ask you a couple of really tricky questions, if I may.
All right.
So now we talked about investment properties. We've talked about standard, conventional loans. We've talked about jumbo loans. What about that niche market of foreign nationals looking to buy a vacation home? Is that something that you could help us with, or do you broker that out? How's that work?
Well, we do broker it out. Foreign national is a very tricky product. I mean, there's certain people that in certain countries that we won't even accept or not even can buy.
The North Koreans, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And I mean, there's some even closer than that. But so we do broker that product out. We feel like, we're good at what we do. Let's stay at doing what we do. And we send that product out to the broker and let them, that's what they do for a living.
And again, I guess that's case by case as well, right?
Case by case. I mean, we try to encompass everything we can, and we assist, so we can be the channel
Right.
And then if it has to go that route,
Right.
then that's what we do.
Let me just ask you a quick question about technology. In the real estate industry, we're seeing new advancements in technology almost daily, and it's almost mind-blowing just the options that are out there. I know the lending industry has been going through a lot of changes recently. What do you see that the next wave, or what do you see happening inside the lending industry? Or indeed, let me ask you this way, what do Laon Depot have in terms of technology that makes that advantageous to the consumer?
Well, we're pretty proud of it. We call it Mellow. So it's a proprietary.
I like that, Mellow.
Yeah, we're just chilled out and helping people. So Mellow is our proprietary software system that takes the transaction. Every transaction goes through Mellow. We have also developed what we call Smart Loan. So Smart Loan, basically, it is a totally. We get the documents, pay stubs, bank statements, everything is electronically and digitally. So it could very well that nobody physically touches that loan from end to end.
Wow.
Because that technology just scoops everything up.
Wow.
The customers can actually, if anything is required, like for instance, let's say it's the divorce decree. Well, he can upload it himself.
Okay.
And it's required by, so from a technology piece, we're way ahead of it. I mean, we're always very innovative. That's one of the things that makes us kind of different.
Right.
I think our leadership, most lenders out there are what's called operationally driven, operations drives.
Right.
Which you and I both know in the sales industry. Without sales,
it's frustrating, right? Yeah.
Well, there is no operations.
Absolutely.
So our leadership has really focused on sales drive.
Right.
We want to make sure that people on the street, like myself, that are out there selling the product, getting to you and your clients, have everything we can.
Right.
And so our next big thing is going to be the point of sale application, which can be technically done from a cell phone. For an old guy like me, I can't see it. But for the young guys out there, it's going to be an amazing thing. Yeah. So from a technology piece, we're way ahead of the curve.
So what you're saying then is that the prospectively somebody could interface with Laon Depot, do the application, upload their documents, and just have that kind of, because everything's driven these days mobile, digitally, isn't it? So they could actually make that whole process just work much more smoothly, much more successfully.
Much more smoothly, and I mean, most of my clients, we work through, like I said, mobile devices, cell phones. They snap a picture, upload it, or I mean, it's just the technology is already there. I mean, part of that too, and with us, we just became the lender for Major League Baseball.
I saw that. Yeah.
So we are now in a different arena.
That's a home run, right?
Right, and these guys, they don't have the time to sit down and fill out an application on a laptop.
Right.
They want to make it quick and easy.
Right.
So this is where it's all driving.
Yeah.
We partnership with the Marlins, and we're now Marlins Stadium is Laon Depot Stadium now. So
I saw that too.
Like we're way ahead of the curve on a lot of lenders that are out there.
That's really interesting. So let's talk about from a regular consumer's point of view. So somebody's looking at buying a house. We've put an offer in. We get a pre-qualification letter. I guess you can help us with that, and quite short order because everything's about speed.
And I'm going to stop you right there. And I know what your question is going. I don't like the word pre-qualification.
I gotcha.
And only because there's a lot of lenders that do that. They give you a pre-qualification letter, which is really not worth the paper it's written on.
Right.
We handle it with pre-approval. Again, the technology piece allows me, if the customer gives me consent, to verify assets, verify income. If the employer, if it's John Smith Lawn Service, I'm not going to be able to verify his income digitally.
Right.
But if it's Disney, IBM, or a major company, then. So basically, when I issue you a pre-approval, it is a pre-approval.
So we're solid going in there, knowing our client's good to go.
Right. I mean, on the few occasions that I can't verify the income, that's the only piece that's out there.
Massively important because
Very important.
Just getting an offer accepted these days hard. I mean, you don't want another hurdle in your place. So you're talking about pre-approvals rather than pre-qualification.
Exactly.
Fascinating. And when a consumer's getting ready for that process, how long does it take to actually? And of course, a lot of that depends on, I guess, the client and how easy it is to get information out of them, right? Because some people are famously, indifferent to doing that. But how long does it normally take to get that pre-approval? Would you say?
The pre-approval usually within the same day. I mean, if the client is forthcoming,
right,
I can get it the same day.
Right.
The way I do my business is I send them at first conversation a needs list. Hey, here's what I need. You can give me digital access, or you can send it to me.
Right.
And most everybody's very cooperative when it comes to that place, and they want to buy the home, and they're interested. So it becomes very easy at that point.
One thing I must share with people watching is that in the first interaction that I ever had with Rene, I realized just how much he chases you up because he expects a commitment out of you. Is that when you do say that you're going to do something, if you don't do it, he's on the phone 5 minutes later, and if you've not done it, he's on the phone 5 minutes later. And I guess that's how you operate, is that you're all about function and operation, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, what I try to do in the way I do business is make sure that I don't fail you. And the way I don't fail you is making sure you do what you're supposed to.
Yeah, I felt that, let me tell you. So let's move on to that then. So our clients, like, they're making their application, everything's going through. Are you there to guide? Because obviously we're talking about technology, but are you there to guide people through that process as well?
Absolutely. I answer my phone up to 9 o'clock at night on the weekends. I'm always there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the phone last night to 7 o'clock with a client, helping them how to figure out. They weren't very savvy, so I'm there through the whole process.
Awesome.
I don't leave them, and if not, I have a team behind me.
And you got Spanish as well, right?
I can speak a little español.
Fantastic. I have no idea what you just said, but I'm sure it was good.
It's all good.
Clear. And then finally, how do people get in touch with you? Because obviously I'm going to be sending your information out to everybody that I work with.
Well, I have a website. Obviously, the website is very easy. It's loandepot.com/Rene Sanchez.
Spell that out for me. Because Rene fooled me.
Yeah, everybody messes up the Rene piece, so it's ReneSanchez.
Okay.
And Laon Depot is just like Home Depot, but with loan.
Word, right. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today, Rene. That's been
My
really
pleasure.
edifying.
Thanks for
I
having
really
me.
enjoyed that. And thank you so much. You're a true pro. And I can honestly say to anybody that is looking to get a loan in any weathers, that this is a guy that you want to be talking to. He knows what he's talking about, which is why we like working with him. He fits very, very nicely with the Compass Credo as well. So thanks again for joining us today, Rene.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Take care.